Hey guys, KYORYU here's another review. This time I'll be reviewing the deluxe King-Gaburicalibur from Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger. This is the weapon and changer of King KYORYU Red, who first appears in a pair of crossover subs between King-Ohger and KYORYU to help celebrate the KYORYU 10-year anniversary. Included with this weapon is also one Judenshi. So, let's get started. First up, we'll look at the included King-Ohger Judenshi. So, unlike most Judenshi, this is in a gold case instead of a silver one. You can see it's got some nice gold paint there, and a K for King-Ohger. Inside, instead of showing a dinosaur image, we've got a silhouette of God KingOhger, and the symbol there is for KingOhger. On the back, we've got the writing for King-Ohger. And if we look at the side, you can see that, just like all other Judenshi, this has pins. Though it is interesting that this has pins, considering this is the first new Judenshi released in about 10 years. But we'll get more into that later in the video. And of course, like with all Judenshi, you can press the button here, and flip it over to the other side, where we now have the colored in God KingOhger. Though one feature that is missing compared to the ones of the past is that there is no glow-in-the-dark gimmick, so it's just one image on the other side, and then the flipped image. Next, we'll take a look at the King-Gaburicalibur. As implied by the name, this is basically just a recolored version of the original Gaburicalibur with some different sounds to it. As opposed to the gray, yellow, and black with bits of red that the original one had, this one is primarily red and very dark brown, with some paint apps that are pretty scuffed to reflect the style that can also be seen on a lot of the other King-Ohger weapons and items, especially the shoe gods. Around to the other side, you have the battery compartment and power switch, and this does include batteries, so you just need to pull a tab and it's ready to go. Got the trigger here, the pump here, and the compartment for inserting Judenshi there. And like with the original, the blade can still fold back. However, one feature that was removed is that, unlike with the original, that could be converted using a button that would be here to combine with the Gabur revolver to become the Gaburu cannon. That was omitted from this version. As you can see, it still has the right hinges and parts, but as far as I can tell, they added in pieces that lock it into place. Which admittedly is not that much of a big deal because, for all it's worth, while it was an additional mode for the Gabur revolver, attaching this just unlocked new sounds in the Gabur revolver rather than any new sounds in the Gaburicalibur itself. So, to start off, we can switch it on. We'll get confirmation lane sound, which indeed is the classic sound from KYORYU. We have the slashing sound. Again, that much is the same. And then from there, we need to activate the transformation. So, open up the hatch, put in the Judenshi, then close up the mouth, and after the standby phase, pump the slider. And there you have the transformation into King KYORYU Red. The basic attack stays the same. From there we also have the special attack, which is done in a similar way to the Gaburicaliburs, which is by pumping the slider 3 times and then pressing the trigger. Where you get the King VAMOLA MUCHO special attack. And also similar to the Gaburicalibur, if you press the trigger when it's on 1 or 2 slides, Well, actually, unlike that, it doesn't really matter how many times you do it. You'll get the same attack sound either way, but the proper way is doing it 3 times. However, this also has a couple of other features in that it can also be used to activate a couple of robo combinations. So for that, we need to pull and then hold up the slider. And it gives us the combination sound for KYORYU, which has basically all the same sounds that were featured in the deluxe KYORYU from back in the day. However, there is one more that can be activated by doing the same starting action, just with a few more slides. And that's the combination sound for KingOhger, a new combination created by combining Gaburicalibur with 4 of the shoe gods that make up KingOhger. That is the sound exclusive to this toy, and that is it as far as the functionality of the KingGaburicalibur goes. Of course, if you want to eject it, like with the original one, you just need to open up the hatch, open it a little bit more, and that ejects the Judenji. Finally, like I showed earlier, the KingOhger Judenji does have pins on it, meaning in theory it should be compatible with other items from the KYORYU toy line back in 2013, or from back in 2013. So that gives me a reason to bring out something that I haven't had to bring out in over 10 years, that being the Gaburicalibur. So, we can test it out. Now as you can see, it kind of makes the generic or unreadable sound for Judenji. However, that's not the end of it. Now while I won't show on camera, I have seen from other people that it basically makes the same kind of generic sound when used in the deluxe Gaburicalibur. However, there's one more item that it is compatible with, and that's where things get interesting. That being the deluxe Gaburicalibur de Carnival, aka Mini Tira. So we just switch it into gun mode. And then set it in the mouth. And snap the jaw. And here it actually does make a special attack sound. And that's because just bring in our little Judenji case. This has the same pins as the Victory Judenchi from back in the day. So it is interesting that this included any pins at all, considering that they probably didn't expect anybody to have any of the old toys. But it's even more interesting that it does happen to have the same pins as one of the old Judenchi from back in the day. And there we go. Overall, it's pretty wild that they release a new roleplay item that is tied to KYORYU 10 years after the original KYORYU series. But again, this was part of the 10-year celebration that was last year. So it makes sense. And I also get why they did what they did. Even though the original KYORYU used the Gaburicalibur transform, I can see why they went for a recolor of the Gaburicalibur for a couple of big reasons. One being that, you know, this does not have any more playability than what gets out of the box, because the way the original one worked is that it didn't matter which Judenchi you put in, it just mattered that you put in a Judenchi to activate all the sounds for it. So in that sense it makes sense, especially because they probably didn't want to like make a whole bunch of new Judenchi, considering this does technically follow more into the KingOhger toy line. And you know, I think one of the other big things is because it's been so long since the original one was released, Bonnie very much didn't, or you know, does not expect that a lot of the kids that be getting this toy would even have any of those old toys from back in the day, you know, unless there's like the rare chance that they are passed down from an older sibling. So I think that's also kind of why they even happen to have the Judenchi have pins on it, because it really wouldn't matter what pins they put on it, since this doesn't read them. But for anyone who happened to have those old toys, it's a nice little Easter egg to see that it does have some sounds in at least a few of the items. Not to mention, this actually does have more functionality than the original, since that one just had, you know, as far as sounds on its own, just had the basic attacking sound and then the special attack sound, which was a singular one. But for this, we actually get a couple of combination sounds, since this does, you know, fall into the realm of basically being the main noisemaker for the entirety of the KingOhger KYORYU crossover. So in that sense, if you are nostalgic for KYORYU and you know, you like what you see here, I can definitely recommend picking it up, since this is a retail item, meaning it's definitely going to be affordable. Next time we'll be getting into the other part of crossover, where I'll be taking a look at the deluxe KYORYU full action version. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you're new and would like to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And for now, this is KRX50, writing off.